For the first time ever since records began, 50.1% of women are childless by 30. So there are more women without children at 30 than there are women with children.
One of my podcasts, I believe it was, I was talking about what our society does to 19-year-old women. We just lie to them all the time. You know, the first lie is, there's nothing more important than your career, more or less by definition. That's the first lie. The second lie is, there will be nothing more important to you in your life than your career. And then the third lie is, there should be nothing more important in your life than your career. So that's the third lie. Implicit in that is the idea that children are a burden and that who are men to tell me what I can do with my body. Hey, fair enough. What I've seen is that as women progress towards their late 20s, there's a psychological transformation. And what happens is that they place less emphasis on their career and way more emphasis, particularly on having a child. And I've seen it flip very dramatically with many women.
The wall was culturally 25 in the past and still is in Asia. The term Christmas cakes for leftover women denoting that nobody wants them after the 25th. We extended the wall for women by accepting their bad decisions, here in the West, but no more. The red pill is out, mainstream. They wanted Pandora's box to be open, and after Pandora's box has been ran through by 25, nobody wants it long term. Tell a woman you got $10 million on your 18th birthday, but blew it all on drugs, partying, and cars. You have no house, no stable income, and nothing to show for the fact you once had $10 million, and watch how women feel about that. That's how we feel about your carelessness with discarding your inherent value.
And so the optimal target for a 25-year-old woman is a 29-year-old man. And so, and it's rude to point such things out, but mate selection is a very difficult problem. And it's also exacerbated by the fact that this is also a terrible thing, is that because of this hypergamous tendency of women, as women are, I knew a lot of very successful young women who worked in the legal field, and they were often stars in their firms, extremely able people. And generally they were very vivacious, attractive, intelligent, educated, and intimidating as hell to men. And not that interested in someone who didn't have the same ability and status they did, which was almost no one.
For marriage, single women become essentially worthless by 36. And since they are off limits until they are 18, they have a shelf life of 18 years, and their marriage childbearing value depreciates to near zero over that time. After that, their value is the same or lower than that of a male friend. A leftover woman has ended up this way because 80+% of men she considered unworthy of getting her best years. She is only turning to these men now to get security for her middle and old age, and she wants to give them as little in return as possible. That is, intimacy. Avoiding like the plague leaves them to suffer the consequences of their life choices. I always say if she has a problem, tell her to call Chad.
That moment when you realize the feminine movement was just a government scam to double their workforce and tax income, baiting women with false empowerment to train up our children and raise them into their system, to destroy the family unit, caging two birds with one stone, the mother and the child.
It's very simple. There is no reason whatsoever to marry a single older woman. As this woman rightly points out, a single woman in her 30s or 40s is completely brainwashed by feminism, thinking that her corporate career is going to bring her happiness. She cannot give you children, and a family is the only reason to get married. But there is a second part to this. There is no reason to date a woman you'd never marry. It's a complete waste of your time, your energy, and your money. Older women will sell the younger women a false bill of goods because they are competing for the same men. It's an evil world we live in. Most of these women are victims of their unrealistic expectations. It all started with the women's liberation movement of the late 60s, when women were told that they could have it all. No, you can't. Anything worth having comes with making sacrifices. So many girls I dated didn't take anything seriously and wanted to be boss babes, sleeping around and playing games into their late 20s. I am 35 now, and all those girls are of similar age. Now they are scared, alone, and miserable. I am richer, more confident, and more attractive to 25-year-olds. I do not feel bad for these girls because I tried to make things work, but they didn't want to hear it. So I focused on my career instead and moved on to another girl. Women need guardrails. Strong men provide that. This movement to ignore a man's guidance is destroying humanity. Marriage contracts that are limited, say 5, 10, 15, 20 years, dealer's choice, renewal optional. The contract stipulates a 50-50 split of all assets acquired during the marriage. Assets prior stay with whoever had them prior. Child custody is agreed upon at the start, and if the couple so decides, the partner, whether male or female, who took care of the children and the house and thus worked less or not at all, has the right of 1 month support per marriage year. Child support is separate from that and is revised as needed once per year. So if the breadwinner is without work or had to switch to a lesser paid job, or even better paid, one child support gets adjusted accordingly, etc. PP, blood-sucking parasites, aka lawyers, can easily whip up fair contracts. It would be up to the state to properly enforce them upon the oncoming end of the contract and not screw over men or any party, as is the case most often nowadays. The truth is that today, wealthy and elite Chinese are resorting to the thousands of years old practice of arranged marriage. Most marriages of the past, for thousands of years, have been arranged marriages. At least in Asia, arranged marriages mean equivalent or near equivalent social classes approved and blessed by both families. It was effective, created an alliance between families and clans, and love grew between partners. This whole notion of romantic love is a modern idea that has little or no connection with marriage as an institution and a social idea. There are different kinds of love, and sexual love is the weakest kind of love and weakens as the partners grow tired or as the partners grow old. In Asia, a man could have concubines, or these days mistresses, outside of their official wife. It was tolerated and even promoted as it preserved the unity of the marriage, separating sex from the status of the official wife. In other words, Far East Asians have understood for thousands of years the nature of men and women. Look at Leo. Leonardo DiCaprio started this trend here a long time ago. He must have been red-pilled before everyone else. He knows that if you return them after 25, then you have to pay a lot of late and return fees. Women these days are easily run through by 25. So if she's older than 25 and still single, then be cautious. Not all of them, but look for the red flags. Or just go to Brazil or Thailand because, like my guy Austin Holloman said, it's that bad. Mother Nature gave women the most amazing bait on the end of their hooks at the same time they were at their peak fertility. And all for free. They didn't have to work for it. They chose to waste this amazing gift. They could have chosen to go down the traditional path, but they didn't do that. They chose to be where they are today. It's not our job to save them from the consequences of their bad decisions. Stay free, men. From another perspective, it isn't the age that kills their chances for meeting a worthy guy. It is those damn elitist, I'm better than you deserve attitudes that just shoot them in the foot every single time. For the last time, we do not care how much you earn, how many college diplomas you have on the wall, or how many countries you have been to. Most men past the age of 30 want a woman who will be a good mother to their children, offer him peace when he's home, and support them in his endeavors so that he can soar and take the family with him. Not long ago, women understood that men are attracted to younger women. Women acted much differently knowing this from a young age. The idea of catching a man and keeping him made relationships last longer. Women's rights, although completely necessary, is in part responsible for the destruction of the nuclear family. A woman's life is not complete without a man. Besides mothering tasks, they're dependent on men because they are capable of doing the muscle work. It's a true partnership, not just a preference. Men, on the other hand, also need women, for all the obvious reasons. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.